guys hear that?
Is it my character and or township's barter action phase?
Yeah, actually. But who are you?
What? I'm your good pal Cody. Your pal.
No, our pal Cody just went to the bathroom to blast Mad Dukes.
You can skip me. This is gonna be a whole event.
Whereas you just came in through the front door and sat down.
But not before looking at me and saying, "Oh my God, you're alive in my timeline. Who'da thunk it?" Which I'm not a fan of on several levels. Wording, for one.
Ah, jeez. Okay. I'm from another timeline, all right? Where I say who'da thunk it. You got me. I need to lay low for a while. I'm basically Carmen Sandiego in mine. Carmen Mandiego. Men's already in it. They call me Cody there too. Basically, me and a band of colorful bandits stole the Arc de Triomphe.
Wait, really?
No, I shot a guy. But let's do this! Maybe we should just play the game and stop being so bitchy about who's from what timeline.
You know what that reminds me of?
Life moves pretty fast.
That said, when it comes time to licking wounds, there's no place like home.
So the premise of the X-Men is that these mutant powers start cropping up as sort of a new trend in human evolution, right? We see in First Class that in the 1960s, mutants are treated more like scary folktale monsters than like a social issue yet.
Taggart, you really think that some crackpot scientist is gonna make me believe in sparkly dames and vanishing men?
Yeah, like Boogeyman, but with spandex and lasers.
And that fear makes a lot of sense, because out of context, I mean, a lot of these mutant powers look downright demonic. Shooting fireballs, controlling people's thoughts, f***ing literal witch magic. So imagine someone like Jean Grey, as a child, already battling her inner dark phoenix while trying to navigate the tumult of adolescence. I mean, maybe everyone starts to feel cosmic powers well inside of them when they hit puberty. How would she even know?
Sex ed, comparing notes with friends.
But what if your home life is and you're not allowed to have any friends? I mean, it would only take one bad prom to push you over the edge so you annihilate half the yearbook. I'm talking Mutant Columbine, Dirty Pillows of Death.
You're talking about Carrie.
That's right, Carrie, set in the late 70s, which is exactly when Jean Grey would have been in high school. Plus, in the comics, whenever we reference Jean Grey's childhood, she basically just says, "It was great. My parents were great." Huh? Maybe a vague cover story to hide some childish indiscretion, child murders, perhaps?
Yeah, it's like Carrie is like a secret Dark Phoenix prequel. She's got the same powers: telekinesis, pyrokinesis, firehosekinesis. Wow, I cannot express how much I miss doing this with you guys. We don't get to see each other that much where I'm from anymore.
I get it, I'm dead in your timeline.
Buried alive.
Super didn't ask how I died. Definitely didn't want to know.
Anyway, Carrie definitely would have avoided a lot of misery and destruction if she just found like a Professor X type, you know?
Well, that's not true. I mean, there are many, many needless deaths in the X-Men universe, most of which Jean Grey caused or did directly. Had Carrie been an X individual, Professor X would have had her using her powers to kill people every day. As her job, at age tween. You know, murdering a bunch of shitty teenagers before dying is actually the better scenario when the other option is becoming a child soldier.
Yes! Point, counterpoint, repartee. You have no idea how much this warms my heart. Come here.
It's great.
Yeah!
Yeah, you should.
I didn't learn your name in either timeline, but the love is there.
You smell like a tire.
Rubber's currency where I'm from.
Oh, I have one. John Wick.
Oh,
It's
John Wick! Yeah! John
Don't
Wick!
set him off, baby!
Such a good movie!
Lawrence Fishburne. When he shows up in Chapter 2, everyone joked that it was a Matrix sequel, which is, of course, ridiculous because Neo dies at the end of those.
No, not. Neo's the one. Revolutions hasn't come out on my timeline yet, but we did get the Animatrix.
That's the most depressing thing you've said so far.
Buried alive.
It's Maggie.
My point is, in a virtual reality like the Matrix, time dilation is possible. Like when Neo learns years of martial arts in a single bout.
I know Kung Fu.
Or Trinity learns to fly a chopper.
Let's go.
But the way that your brain works, you can't just instantly know something that you didn't before. You know, you have to build up the neural pathways through repeated processing, which means the most likely scenario is that whenever a character learns something in the Matrix, they are actually training in some sort of overclocked sub-matrix. You know, like the robots already have the Matrix technology, so why not use it in the Matrix?
Point of order, that's basically the plot of Dark City, one of the most underrated sci-fi thrillers ever filmed.
No one cares. So when Trinity learns to fly the helicopter, what we're not seeing is her brain experiencing hours of tedious flying lessons.
Exactly! And now we have John Wick, a world in which people pay with golden coins, and civilians are either secret assassins or just completely unfazed by the carnage surrounding them. Much like NPCs in a hastily programmed video game! It literally makes the most sense if John Wick is happening during one of the Matrix training programs. John Wick is a tutorial for Neo in case he needs to kill someone with a horse.
So I get why Morpheus, in a tutorial sense, would sort of insert himself as a wise old pigeon-fingering homeless dude. I mean, who wouldn't want that life? But why did he make Neo's puppy get murdered at the beginning?
What better way to emotionally prepare someone for an upcoming machine war? John Wick is harder and older because that's how Morpheus would want Neo to think about himself. He gives him a simple yet powerful loss to avenge. And again, it definitely makes more sense than John Wick happening in any sort of reality. You know, John Wick is a video game in a movie universe. Doesn't that just feel right?
Do you remember? This is your blood.
He burned my house down. You rejected his mark, you?
Sei qui per il Santo Padre.
What brought you back, John?
A marker.
But Neo doesn't accept sacrifice or loss, at least not in Reloaded, the most recent film I've seen. I mean, he destroys an entire town for Trinity after meeting with the architect, which, by the way, wow, mind blown, right? Revolution's gonna be really good, right?
Anyway, he also doesn't fight anything like John Wick, so what? That would mean Neo ignored all of his training.
But they do have the same emotionless attitude when it comes to mercilessly killing uniform randos.
Well, as long as we're focused on sociopathic tendencies in younger characters, might I suggest Ferris Bueller as just young Deadpool?
Ah! And I say that because my brain hurts.
The obvious connection that they both break the fourth wall, right? The Deadpool movie even parodies the ending of Ferris Bueller.
It's over. Go home.
But that's just the surface. You know, they're also very similar in the way they talk, their lack of compassion.
It's understanding that makes it possible for people like us to tolerate a person like yourself.
Either that, or slap the bitch out of you.
And their rebellious nature. Ferris encourages Cameron to stand up to his father, the same way Deadpool rebels against Professor X's authority.
So Ferris Bueller might have just been another early mutant like Carrie.
And that breaking the fourth wall thing? That's a mutant power. The best mutant power, like Zach Morris level. You know, honestly, the magical awareness that this world exists within a broader world and that you alone have the ability to communicate with the outside, you know, and Ferris was just in high school. He was just honing his powers before he eventually gets burned and ostracized and changes his name to Wade Wilson.
Right, just like how Carrie was actually found in the rubble of her high school by a young Professor X who reprogrammed her mind to turn her into Jean Grey.
So Carrie and Deadpool and definitely Zach Morris and Ferris Bueller, these are all in the same universe? That world obviously being the Matrix. Just one of several flushes.
Should we be allowing this?
As long as the smell doesn't reach her, then I'm fine with it. But he's right. If you've ever played The Path of Neo, which is a Matrix video game written by the Wachowskis, you'll remember that there's a fight scene between Neo and Sarah where they crash into a movie theater and see themselves fighting from the Matrix. The implication being that through some wacky glitch, they exist as a movie of themselves.
So in the Matrix, it is possible to break your own fourth wall.
Yeah, but that game is nuts. It extends the werewolves and the vampires from the Merovingian's estate into a whole insane cast of glitch characters. It also has giant ants and crazy powers.
Crazy powers not unlike mutant powers. Wouldn't you say, dweebs?
I would say that. I did say that.
Yeah, we did.
You, man. Considering how diverse and inorganic the mutant powers are, it actually makes more sense that they're just people who are hacking the Matrix. Like Carrie, Deadpool, Neo, they're all players in the Matrix who are using cheat codes.
Why else would Deadpool/Ferris have a power that allows him to speak directly to another world? I mean, either Deadpool is schizophrenic, or the MCU knows that it's nested in some sort of broader reality.
Yeah, but by that logic, we can throw any supernatural character or monster into the Matrix, you know? The Cloverfield monster or Pennywise the clown could just be wayward Matrix programs.
No, see, the way I figure it, Cloverfield and Pennywise, they're actually from the Upside Down in Stranger Things, which, yes, is a breach in the Matrix that sort of cropped up in the mid-'80s, you know, before Neo was bopping around. Then Professor X transferred Jean Grey's mental powers into Eleven so she could seal it. But not before a bunch of demigorgons escaped and became the monsters from A Quiet Place for some reason. Or else the Upside Down is where the ghosts go when Ghostbusters bust them. I don't know, either or.
Yeah, let's flow with that. So like the Upside Down is kind of like a trash bin where the Matrix's discarded programs live. Or ghost-busted ghosts, I guess, if we're really trying to fold that in at this point.
Well, the Busters do choose their own destructor by imagining it.
It just popped in there.
What? It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
That would imply a Matrix-style universe that responds to user input.
That would actually explain why the Cloverfield paradox is just like a bunch of random space shit, right? It's actually a bunch of players who went outside of the bounds of the game and started glitching out.
Wait, so you have Netflix in your timeline?
Yeah, we call it Getflix. Like you're getting the...
Yeah, I get it.
The flicks.
But how do you know what John Wick is, but not Matrix Revolutions?
It kind of hurts.
Never mind. Don't think about it. Don't think about it.
Level complete! Alright, I'm coming out of the bathroom now. I'm announcing that, like everyone does.
I feel flushed.
What if they touch? Are they gonna like time cop die? Is anybody else worried about this?
That was an adventure. Anyways, kind of f***ed up Morpheus didn't help kill Thanos, you know, when you think about it. Oh, you guys freaking Surge? Yeah, dude! John Wick!
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, please go to patreon.com/smallbeans and throw us a little cash, throw us some beans. Because if you don't, we won't be able to make any more of these. See you there. I can't not say so.
Back to reality.
Oh, you guys are gonna Surge?